Oh! 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 Oh, I think I could quit after that one.
Here we go again. You know, I said I finished this series, but every time something new happens that makes me want to revisit this topic, and I want to knock some sense into the people who continue to defend their favorite game. So in this video, I'm going to tell you every reason why Valorant is just better than cs2. Now, before I even start this video, I'm not condemning you for playing cs2, because I play cs2. And at the end of the day, I don't care what you play. You can play Minecraft with your toes, hentai games with your dick, girlfriend simulator with your imagination. What I care about are the people who drive these comparisons with their unbrushed teethed mouths and make brain dead takes. Look, this video is going to be objective, and if you don't want to believe me, then just know that before the release of cs2, csgo was, and well, still would be, the best FPS game, better than Valorant and all the others. But of course, Valve had to change that, and this is the first big failing of Valve. Over the years, Valve has shown complete incompetence in creating games. I'm serious. What new games has Valve released in the past 10 years? Half-Life Alyx. That's it. That's the only one that's relevant. All the others are dead. One VR title that requires a headset worth more than your rent. The big ones, Dota, CSGO, they were released 12 and 13 years ago. And they're the ones carrying Valve numbers. Well, CSGO no longer. In fact, Valve is so bad at creating games, they decided to just try and maintain their old games. That's why they started updating TF2 again. Only their old games are relevant. And because of that, they decided to reskin CSGO into CS2. And let's just forget Valorant real quick. What game is better, CS2 or CSGO? If you tell me, unironically, that CS2 is better, please leave this video. I don't want your smelly TikTok melted brain in my video. You're unqualified to handle an opinion. You just don't deserve to even talk. CSGO felt better, shot better, moved better. Yes, CSGO was full of problems of its own, but those problems could have been overlooked because, well, the game was better. Let's be honest, the launch of CS2 is a 9/11 level catastrophe. Probably, no, even worse, maybe like a Titanic. Mind you, this is a billion-dollar company releasing an esports game that players will be playing for millions of dollars on tournaments, and this is how it shoots. I am applauding for this incompetence. And now, almost 2 years later, what has changed? Nothing. Sprays feel like a tangled garden hose.
Huh?
Movement feels like you have semen on your boots.
Okay, yeah.
Netcode is shit and you can shoot directly at an enemy, and your bullets will go MIA like your dad. Try to play Premiere. Simple, right? I mean, right? You just click this button and you get queued and... Right. So Valve is incompetent in maintaining a competitive environment. They cannot create good servers. Still locking to 64 tick my dick and their garbage subtick technology, complete lack of any anti-cheat. VacLive can go f itself alongside all the talentless developers working on this game, complete lack of a chat filter or any valid reporting system. Basically perfection, right? And of course, some of these problems were present in CSGO, but you could overlook them because the game was better, it was nice to play, and they were not to such an extent. At this point, to play CS2, you have to go and register to a third-party service and play on their servers. That's how fucked up Valve is. They don't even know how to provide you with a valid playing experience, so you have to go and look for the community to do these things. And this is what happens over and 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 over. Do I need to stop? Why did Valve fix the sprays? It's because some dude wrote a biology PhD level essay on why the sprays felt bad. Only then did Valve decide to actually fix anything. This is pathetic. Charity work from poor bastards on the internet. Borderline sad that people getting paid massive money cannot fix a game that provides a large portion of said income. But you CS2 players don't care, right? You will defend your billion-dollar company because you have to hold on to CSGO. Can't get over its death, right? Well, I got over it and I see CS2 for what it is. Horse shit. Now let's talk about the community, which is an incredibly safe and nice community for Nazis, fascists, racists, you name it. But worst of all, Russians. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Create a separate server for Russians. No one wants to play with them, and they don't want to play with us. This will benefit both sides. The only thing Russians want is to bomb the rest of the world and leave it in radioactive acid. And this is really what made me quit CS2. It wasn't the bullshit mechanics or treatment from Valve, it was the lack of any policing of the environment. Seriously, the amount of players I had where they're like griefing on round 2 after they started arguing about God knows what on round 1 is insane. In Valorant, I've only experienced such situation twice. You could say it's personal experience, but I think if you ask most people what game is more civil, the answer's pretty obvious. In Valorant, you queue a game and most people are polite, respectful. They might scream into the mic for fun or be a bit rude, but it's all in good fun. In CS2, it's warfare. If you play Valorant, you know to just ignore that one game with the toxic Radiant Smurf because the next one isn't going to have him. If you play CS2, cherish that one game where everyone is polite and civil because you're not getting that for a long time. Oh, I almost forgot to mention how Valve promotes gambling to children and fosters thousands of casino-like websites that operate on loopholes upon loopholes. What does Valve do about them? Nothing. Wonderful. And this is without mentioning that like Counter-Strike has like dogshit optimization. Do we remember when Counter-Strike used to crash every single match or things like that? No, do we not? I have a top-of-the-line computer with absolutely all the specs, everything, and I average just about 300 FPS. Now some of you might say, oh that's great, why are you complaining? Let me just repeat that. I have a top-of-the-line computer. My computer runs Valorant at an average of 600 FPS. CS is a competitive esport where FPS matters. There are 500 Hz monitors out there, 700 coming up, and my top-of-the-line computer cannot run this game at that FPS. Do you understand how bad that is? A lot of people were dismissive of my claims that this game is optimized as shit back when I played on my dogshit laptop. Well, now I'm playing on a top-of-the-line computer and here's what I'll say. It's still shit. Hell, right now I'm watching through a clip. I'm getting 180 FPS. That is dog shit. Whoever optimized this game was probably sitting on a vibrating dildo and was receiving too much pleasure to concentrate properly. People love to talk about the death of optimization in video games. Valve so far is the king. Oh, and did I mention the fact that CS was actually the only game on my computer that managed to not only crash, but fully brick my computer up. Like my screens went black, my computer wasn't responsive, I had to forcefully shut it down and turn it on. Great. Good job, Valve. Also, the fact that when you cycle through settings, the game fully unfull screens, then full screens back, then like does some weird shit to your monitor, that's just terrible. Does Valve not know how to make an option screen? Now, of course, there are going to be people who talk shit about Valorant, so let's talk. One of the smaller talking points you raise is how Valorant is kind of unbalanced. They have problems balancing agents, maps, guns, all that. But then you completely forget about the revolver incident in CS. Because after that incident, CS gave up on innovation. Their best attempt at innovation were new maps, most reskins of old ones, or ones made by the community, not by the devs. Again, proving my point that this game needs the community to survive. Oh, and I guess they made smokes breakable with grenades, which has barely changed anything. I want you to open the buy menu in CS and look at how many guns there are that are never used, and then try and tell me about balancing issues ever again. Because here's the thing, Valorant tries to innovate with new agents, and that's the core of their game. That's what they're made for. And of course they run into problems, whether it be with the agents, the maps, the guns. CS has grown complacent and avoids innovations and problems altogether. Another thing CS people love to bitch about is the anti-cheat, probably because they don't have one and want one. Of course, people will talk about how Vanguard runs on their computer 24/7 and is a probably Chinese spyware made by Tencent, which is absolutely insane because it has no proof, not even one reputable post or anything on that. But you know what's crazy? These people will then get on Discord and talk. Discord, whose shares are owned by Tencent, reportedly as much as 38%. And if you're going to talk about how I'm comparing a kernel level anti-cheat to a messaging platform, just remember that malware doesn't need to run at the kernel level to steal data from you. Hell, it doesn't even need to be visible or known to you. Like Microsoft, who spies on you. But you seem completely fine with that, don't you? Why do you complain about Valorant but aren't on Linux with an old untraceable Nokia? You know, I think there's a name for that. Fuck, I actually forgot. If you're really that serious about privacy with like absolutely no chance of anybody stealing your data, move into the woods and talk to squirrels. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Next, we have people who hate Valorant skins while praising cs2s, where they own a Safari mesh for 40 cents and that's it. Are Valorant skins scummy based on FOMO and expensive? Well, you don't get to decide. Your game is based entirely on opening cases. Talk about scummy. Your cheapest knife is 2 times that of the most expensive one in Valorant. Your skins are pale and dull. And don't worry, Valorant has some for you guys, specifically designed for boring people like you. Oh, but you can't sell the skins in Valorant. You use that like it's an out of jail card thinking it means something. 99% of the games do not let you refund for any purchase, really. You can decide how that makes you feel, and your skin trading has allowed for gambling website that ruin children's lives, get people scammed, doxed, all that. You talk about how you can sell your skins, but forget to mention that if you want to avoid that Valve fee, you need to sell it on those third-party website where some god knows who is doing god knows what with your skins. You talk about Vanguard like it's the death of society, but happily go on some random gambling website and enter your card details to some dude named SkinDaddy69? Are you mentally okay? You have no right to complain about Valorant skins, absolutely zero. Go fix your own, which is never gonna happen. Then we can talk about problems in Valorant. If after hearing all this you still don't think that your game is a toxic wasteland consisting of bots and players farming for drops and cheaters in ranked, well, I think you're stupid. The only thing that maintains your game is esports, Own and Pixel eating all the shit Valve feeds him, and those people who gladly get on their knees in front of their Gabe portrait and imagining themselves sucking his dick, all the while their computer is botting in CS2 for a 30 pence drop.
Are we done here? Have I said enough? Probably not. These people are actually like sexually attracted to Valve. I don't think anything can convince them. Well, at least I tried. I don't know how to make outro.